The seventh race of the 2014 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series will play out on the historic streets of Trois-Rivieres as we get set for the JuliaWine.com Le 50 Tour. For the past 45 years, this compact circuit in a town nestled between Montreal and Quebec has hosted many great motorsport battles. It's played a key role in the North American racing landscape as well as its direction. Today, one of their own comes home with a NASCAR points lead, yet LP Dumoulin knows that this battle is far from over. As his sun-forgiving concrete-walled playground celebrates another year, it could also play a big role in determining the outcome of the 2014 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series Championship presented by Mobil 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to NASCAR Racing on TSN. I'm Dave Bradley. Along with me is the trackside voice of the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series here in Canada, Adam Ross, and veteran pit reporter Todd Lewis, as always, manning pit lane. Amongst the thousands of fans that have gathered here at Trois-Rivieres for the 45th time.
Dave, it's pretty amazing. The oldest street course in North America is right here in Trois-Rivieres. But when we look around at the fans and the people involved in the organization, it's no surprise. It's been a great 45 years.
And one family that's been here for every one of those 45 years, the Dumoulin family, and their son, 3-year series veteran, has a strong 17-point lead in the championship coming in.
Well, J.R. Fitzpatrick, who sits second, has been consistently in the top 5 all season long. He hasn't always run that well here in Trois-Rivieres. Andrew Ranger, third in the championship battle. He always runs well. 4 wins in 7 years, never finished worse than second.
And he definitely is a favorite to win here today. NASCAR and the promoter have thrown a little bit of a twist into this year's program. They've added 8 more laps to the show. Doesn't sound like much, but in the past it was a 42-lap race, allowed the teams to go the entire distance on 1 tank of fuel. Now, since it's a 123-kilometer race, a fuel stop could be part of today's program for these 33 cars. But as Todd has found out, there's no common consensus yet regarding pit stops or strategy.
And a lot of strategy is what we're going to see. You talk to 33 teams and you'll probably get 33 different answers in terms of strategy. Some drivers think they can make it all the way. Some give you a nod, a wink, or a little white lie and say, yeah, we're pretty sure we can make it all the way. But then it's going to come down to the strategy and being smart about it. We'll wait and see what happens, but I will expect some pit stops, especially in the first 10 laps or so from a number of different competitors.
Todd, you have to figure teams within the championship, at least in the top 5, can't take a gamble. What if we have a green-white checkered and go beyond 50 laps?
That's a great point, and something that all the teams will have to consider. Some believe even with a green-white checker, then they can go the full distance in terms of fuel. The other consideration is the number of yellow flag laps that we'll see. Last year in this race, we had 5 caution periods for a total of 18 laps. If we have that many caution laps again, we just don't know. A number of teams will be able to make it. Last season, this was the only victory for the number 17 Castrol Edge Dog driver, DJ Kennington. DJ, I know it was a huge win for you here last year. Big smile on your face, the enthusiasm when you jumped out of the car. Different this year. You're starting deeper in the field, 8 more laps. What kind of strategy do you have to employ?
Well, that is a strategy, Todd. That's why we're starting a little deeper in the field this year. We got more laps to get it done. So, you know, we're going to take this Castrol Edge, Mahindra Tractors Dodge, try to get it to the front here at the end of this race. And everybody knows this race is about tires and brakes, and obviously it's going to be about fuel now. So let's see who rolls the dice. Let's see who's got some kahunas and see what happens at the end of this thing.
Okay, so then just tell me, what lap are you going to pit on?
Now, Todd, if I told you, you know the deal. If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
And I'm glad that you won't. Thanks. Good luck, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
All right, DJ Kennington. We'll wait and see what kind of strategy plays out. We'll do our best to pry the information out of all the teams as we go along. But it's going to be an interesting one to watch this afternoon.
Thanks, Todd, and stay safe down there. Qualifying yesterday, though, was certainly entertaining. Andrew Ranger in his number 27 Mopar Dodge grabbed the early fast time through this 11-turn circuit. He looked on it through the entire qualifying session, and he was sliding that car right around this circuit.
Well, Dave, he loves racing, and he loves racing here. Almost surprisingly, his time of 1:07.3 seconds relegates him to 3rd on the grid.
Points leader LP Dumoulin, there he is. Struggled mightily in practice, turned his fortunes around in front of his hometown fans, picking up 2nd spot.
And fast right out of the trailer, the 88 Marc-Antoine Cameron set a new track record almost in the first practice. The White Motorsports Group preparing that race car, and he is bad fast with a pole time of 1:07.1 seconds for the driver from St. Leonard d'Aston.
And that's a great run for Marc-Antoine and that team. Many teams, though, struggled in qualifying. For example, Alex Tagliani is always a factor when it comes to qualifying, could only muster up a 10th place run. Down in that sea of people, Todd, once again, he's standing by with our pole sitter. Todd?
Marc-Antoine Camara, terrific lap. You were fast from the start of practice yesterday right through qualifying. You've raced a lot here, you've won a lot here, but you haven't been able to finish one of these NASCAR Canadian Tire Series events. Can you do it today?
I think so. I think White Motorsport gave me a good car this weekend. We got some bad luck at Mirabel. We sure we got the speed during qualify, but today we got the chance with us, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna be there at the end.
Congratulations on the pole. Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, starting alongside on the front row of Marc-Antoine Camara. He's the hometown guy, the guy who comes into this race with the points lead. LP Dumoulin in the top 5 in every event, but how much would you like to win this hometown race today?
God, no, I would really love to win that race here in Trois-Rivieres, my hometown. We're leading the points right now. Got to be smart. Car is fast. We're second, obviously, on the front row with Marc-Antoine Camara, but we have a lot of really good drivers out there. So we need to be there at the end. It's really warm right now. It's hot. So we need to be saving the brakes, tires, and then the WeatherTech car, Belmar, has been really good so far. So, you know, we'll cross our finger that everything's fine, and then we'll be there for the last lap, fighting for the lead.
Good luck.
Yes, sir.
LP Dumoulin signing a whole bunch of autographs for fans here. Starting on the inside of row number 2. Well, he's raced here 7 times. He's won 4 times. He's finished second 3 other times. Andrew Ranger, it's a bit of a different race today, though, with 8 more laps. Can you be as successful?
I think so. I think we have a pretty good car. The Dodge Mopar car has been really, really good this weekend. So it's a long race. A lot of things can happen, but the goal here is to finish the race and gain some point on the championship. So
good luck today.
Thank you.
Andrew Ranger, everybody's talking about finishing the race. Being there at the end to finish the race is the most important thing. Kerry Mick says he's got a very good car. We'll talk more about him a little bit later. Another one of the drivers we're going to be keeping an eye on. He had a terrific run here last year. The number 7 of Jacques Villeneuve. He was a little bit loose in practice, but talked to Jacques earlier in the week. He said, I think there's more potential in this car than there was last year. We'll just let him finish up the photograph with all the fans. We'll get a quick word. Jacques, he said that this car is very good. Earlier in the weekend when we spoke, still as confident? Feel you can get to the front?
Yes, we were very good on old tires, so that should be the key here. It's a longer race than it was in the past. It's hot, and fuel will be also marginal, so it should be fun.
Congratulations on the great run so far. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Jacques Villeneuve going to be trying to take this one to the front. Number of drivers have mentioned the heat. It is very hot today. We'll see what effect that has on the action when we come back to get things started here in Trois-Rivieres.
Glorious and free, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
It's almost time, Dave. When the cannon goes off at Trois-Rivieres, you know the engines are soon to fire.
Dominic Fougère and his staff have once again outdone themselves here at the Grand Prix. A good look at 53-year-old Kerry Mick, who won here way back in 2007 after that ferocious battle with Andrew Ranger.
The finish of that race, Dave, set the tone for all the races that followed, still used in highlight packages today.
Before we get things underway, let's send it down trackside for today's command.
Voici la ministre du Tourisme du gouvernement du Québec et députée de Bellechasse, Madame Dominique Vien.
Pilotes, débarrez vos moteurs. Drivers, start your engines.
And the engines fire up. There is your points leader, LP Dumoulin, giving the thumbs up to his crew. Marc-Antoine Camara will lead him into the first corner. As you take a look at through the field, we'll have a number of onboard cameras, including Gary Clute behind the wheel of the 59 here today.
And we're going to have a lot of great looks. How about Vaughn Gittin Jr., the famous drifter? Monster Energy cam there.
Ray Cordemosh Jr. will also carry an onboard view behind the wheel of the 29. There's a good look at the 95 of Anthony Simoni making his return to the series. And a stop here in Trois-Rivieres, Quebec. And Dave Coursol in the 94, running the same colors as Ray Courtemanche Jr., a teammate here today.
Benoit Thiege in the number 16 from Boischatel, Quebec.
Some drivers you only see once or twice in the NASCAR Tour, but everybody wants to race here in Trois-Rivieres. We'll take a look at the starting lineup. Cameron and Dumoulin make up row number 1. Row number 2 is Andrew Ranger in the 27. There's Kerry Mix in the 02. Two rivals going to start side by side.
Row number 3, we've got J.R. Fitzpatrick alongside Alex Labbé in the 36 machine.
Remember the strong run he had at St. Eustache. Jacques Villeneuve behind the wheel at the 7. He'll start alongside the other Dumoulin, J.F. Dumoulin, in the 04.
Row number 5, Eli Arsenault in the 03 alongside Alex Tagliani. We talked about their challenges. And in row number 6, three-time champion Scott Steckley in the 22 and Jason Hathaway in the 3.
Row 7 has Alex Guinnett, the youngster, in the 39. Another youngster in the 72. That's Xavier Coupal. Row number 8, DJ Kennington, a two-time series champion. He'll have some work to do today, as will the 97 of Hugo Vanini.
Getting deeper in the field, 9th row, we've got Gary Kloot in the 59 and Jeff Lapsevich in the 76. And then in the 10th row, rounding out the top 20, Luc Lesage in the 24 and Peter Kloot in the 42.
Row number 11, there is the 95 of Anthony Simone and the 37 of Simon Dion Viens. And then back to row number 12, Matt Pritico makes another start here in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series in the 99. Dave Coursol's in the 94, as we mentioned earlier.
Row 13, Noel Dowler from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and Patrice Brisebois in the 71, former NHLer. Joey McComb in the number 25 will start alongside Benoit Thiege in the 16.
Both will have a lot of work to do in this race, but a lot of time to do it young. Matthew Skinnell in the 56, and there is Ray Courtemanche Jr. in the 29.
Rounding out the field, we've got Jocelyn Fecteau in the 77 and Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the number 9. And the last starter, Dominic Jacques in the 00. Dave, still one of the coolest things we do all year. He earned this ride by winning the Sportsman race on Friday here at Trois-Rivieres.
Those cars a lot of fun to watch on this circuit. As we take a look from the roof of J.R. Fitzpatrick, we'll look at the E3 Spark Plugs race analysis. As we mentioned, 50 laps, 123 kilometers. It's an 11-turn street circuit. Last year's winner, DJ Kennington, and the weather couldn't be better for racing. 29 degrees and beautiful sunshine. Now let's set it down trackside to Todd with today's Leland lead up to the green.
Guys, a couple of things to watch for. The 25 car of Joey McComb had a bit of a brake issue. NASCAR did an inspection. Everything is fine. He gets his starting spot back. Brakes is another concern by all of the drivers in the field. It always is here at Trois-Rivieres, and with 8 more laps, it's an even bigger concern. Watch for the 02 car of Kerry Mix. He told me he's had the best car in the last 7 years here. He feels really good. And also his teammate for this weekend, the number 9 of Vaughn Gittin in the Monster Energy car. Wow, what a drive he's had all weekend long. Swinging that drifting car around. Told me it's all about car control, and he's been learning this NASCAR Canadian Tire Series machine and having a lot of fun and hopes to be back again.
And you know what he said? I was following him on Twitter, and he says it's really difficult not to throw the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series car sideways as he normally does in his Ford Mustang. We'll see what he can do today behind the wheel of a Ford Fusion. As the pace car pulls in, the field lines up, getting set for the start of the JuliaWine.com 50 here at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. Local fan favorite, the 47 of LP Dumoulin, starting on the outside of the front row. And the field slowly makes its way through the final corners onto the front stretch, looking for green from that man, Sean Gibbs, the official starter here in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. And we're underway here in Trois-Rivieres.
Look at the start by Andrew Ranger up the inside of Cameron into turn 1, 3 wide into the first turn.
And we've got contact already, the 47 of LP Dumoulin crossways as we head for turn number 2.
All things considered, a pretty good opening there. Whoa, contact, that's Gary Kloot and the 97 of Hugo Vanini.
And both continue on as we head through the Duplessis gate for the first time, side by side most of this field. And now we start to stretch out single file.
Dave, the NASCAR rule on original starts, you're supposed to stay in 2 distinct lines. Boy, Ranger was awful close. He definitely pulled out. Whether or not they think he advanced his position, we're going to have to wait and find out.
So Fitzpatrick taking a look on the 7 of Jacques Villeneuve as they made their way through turn 6. And now you see continuing along. Everybody knows detail early on. A longer race here. You don't really want to show your cards too early.
I think once they get through the first corner, that initial man, and J.R. Fitzpatrick peeling off on the pit road.
This could be that all-important strategy that Todd was talking about off the top of the show. We got problems as well on the 71 of Patrice Brisebois. The hood is up, covering nearly the entire windshield.
The Jiffy Lube number 71. There is no way he can see where he's going as J.R. Fitzpatrick peeling off the track down to pit lane, painfully slow along pit road.
And Todd is there, Todd.
This is about as early a stop as we expected. The 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick, a splash of fuel, and he is gone.
And this is important, too, for track position. He was in the thick of things. Now he'll be at the back of the pack, but he'll have sort of a clear track in case things get kind of squirrely up there near the front.
Well, and Dave, now he's played his cards. He was second place in points coming in. He's committed to making that pit stop. Let's see, we're on board the pro point number 3 of Jason Hathaway. Let's see what he does, what Dumoulin does. Now it's time for the rest of the field to play their hand.
Alex Guinnett in the Moto Limité number 39, slipping through underneath the 3 of Jason Hathaway. And Andrew Ranger continued. Now he ducks into pit lane.
Guys, perhaps we'll get to see Andrew Ranger go from the back to the front again here at Trois-Rivieres. The NASCAR ruling is he jumped the start. He swears he didn't, but he's being penalized right now.
And it looks like the team is wanting to fuel that race car, but I don't think on a drive-through penalty that's allowed. Yeah, you saw the crew up on the wall.
Yeah, because that would give him an advantage. This is a penalty, so you want to drive through and penalize the car. So he'll slide way back to near the tail of this field as your new leader, LP Dumoulin, continues at the front. There's the hood coming off the 71 of Brisebois.
And he's going to lose some valuable time on the racetrack. But look at this battle at the front. Dumoulin, Cameron, and I can't tell you how excited I am to see Kerry mixing that 0-2 back at the front.
Now we'll take another look at this initial start. Watch the car in the second row. There it is.
Yeah, and there's the start-finish line right there. Clearly, he was not only out of line, but he was basically in the lead by the time they got to the start stripe. Here goes Mix to the inside.
Well, a driver who's had horrible luck all season long behind the wheel of that 0-2 is Kerry Mix, and now he's up to second spot. He's got to be smiling inside that cockpit.
And don't look now. Running in fourth, Jacques Villeneuve started back in the 7th spot, had a good few laps to open this race. We got a little bumper loving going on.
On board with Clute. As he continues single file, he saw a couple cars duck through on the inside. And this is Clute's first time to the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. And it's a pretty intimidating place because if you take a look from that view, all you see is concrete.
I'll tell you one thing about the legendary motor cars fleet. Peter Clute, Gary Clute, Ryan Clute, they know those cars are immaculately prepared when they come to the track, Dave. Makes a huge difference when the driver's got confidence in what he's driving. And we speak of confidence, look at these two. LP Dumoulin and Kerry Mix. I don't know that these two have really mixed it up too much before, but LP Dumoulin is about to get introduced to mixing.
Just see the focus in his eyes as he dumps the gears heading for turn 6. Kerry Mix in his wake. Marc-Antoine Cameron, that white Motorsports number 8, has been fast all weekend long, ever since that car was unloaded from the trailer. Fast in first practice, fast in final practice, and again, sat on the pole in qualifying. Keep an eye on that Chevrolet sitting in third.
2 points to be made go either way with Cameron. Number one, I don't think we can say it enough. This is the winningest driver in the history of the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. Secondly, he hasn't finished a Canadian Tire Series race yet, really, Dave. So, I mean, he's got the pros and the cons. He's got an uphill battle, but he's doing good so far.
Yeah, he and Kerry Mix have been dipping from the same luck bag, and unfortunately, it's the bad luck bag in the Canadian Tire Series.
So far, that's for sure. The top 3 under a blanket. Villeneuve slowly closing in on the leaders.
And don't count Jacques Villeneuve out. He does have skill. He's been quick here in the past at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. He's another driver, too, who's hit and miss sometimes when it comes to finishes, but always through the race, he's near the front.
We're on board with Alex Guinnett, the Motos Limité number 39, aggressive young driver, running in the 9th spot.
Back to the lead battle. Here goes Kerry Mix in the Leyland Industries 0-2, and he will steal away the lead from the WeatherTech.ca number 47 of LP Dumoulin. Cameron's going to try and follow him through.
And there's straightaways here at this track, Dave, but none of them are really straight. Cars always weaving this way and that way. LP able to hang on to second spot, but that little battle brings Jacques Villeneuve right into the mix.
And did you see how much that allowed the other cars to close up? You saw Alex Labate just in behind of Jacques Villeneuve as well. He's now closed the gap, so it's not a 3-car race anymore. We're into a 5-car snake at the front.
I hope we get more on board with Jacques Villeneuve because I've been watching him all weekend. Of all the drivers, you watch Mixie and Ranger. Oh, Jason Hathaway on pit road. Let's see if this is something up or just a fuel stop.
Jason Hathaway making his stop for a splash of fuel. A tap from the crew member, and he's gone.
So that's 2 out of the top 10 title contenders who have pitted for fuel, and where it is that the number 27 did want to stop for fuel as well, but that penalty changed their plan. So Andrew Ranger had to go back to the drawing board and figure things out.
Cameron looking to outbreak Dumoulin. He does it. Cameron up to the second spot. The one thing I wanted to talk about with Villeneuve and that onboard, a lot of the drivers, they point their car and they don't drift it through the corner, but they really get it pointed straight off. Villeneuve seems to steer his car through a corner. It's hard to explain the difference. When we were on board, you can see it's a different driving style. It takes a ton of throttle control, but boy, does he make it work.
Driver we have to mention inside the top 6, just towards the end of this line is the 03 of Eli Arsenault, having a great run in the early going here on the JuliaWines.com, the 50 Tour here at this Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. There is your leader, Kerry Mix in the 02, a Ford Fusion at the front of the field, followed by a Chevrolet in the 88 driven by Marc-Antoine Cameron. Moving back to a third manufacturer, the Dodge of LP Dumoulin, and off the track is the number 9 of Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. as the field comes on. It sounds like he's trying to turn that car over. Pointed the wrong direction there. Doesn't look like he hit anything terribly hard. Another car off the track. That's one of the Clute machines.
Yeah, that's Peter Clute in the 42. He's parked at turn 11, and this will draw the first caution of the afternoon here in Trois-Rivieres, Quebec. So a couple cars stopped on track. We'll have another look at what happened to Gittin.
Down under braking, those rear wheels start to chatter. He did the smart thing. He locked it down, didn't hit anything, Dave.
Oh, that could have caused severe damage to that Monster Energy Ford.
And listen for it. Right, you hear that? It's sort of a rat-a-tat-a-tat. That's the back wheels braking traction, and you're done. At that point, you're finished.
It's just like pulling a handbrake on your Chevrolet Cavalier you got sitting in the driveway, and Vaughn Gittin was along for the ride at that point. But Kerry Mix is at the front. Welcome back to the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. We're still under caution here as the track workers continue to tidy up after the first caution of the afternoon. Let's take another look at that initial start. And Adam, let's clarify this ruling from NASCAR.
Well, Dave, we're going to have a look at how they came down to the initial green. The NASCAR rule states there's got to be 2 lines of cars. And whether he's ahead of him at the stripe or not isn't as important as the fact that he's pulled out of line and begun to advance his position.
And he surely was there, but Andrew Ranger now back in 11th spot. Pit road is open. Let's see if we have any takers, and we do. Alex LeBay is the first one to bite for pit lane.
This surprises me quite a bit because he's not in the points chase as they go to put fuel, and they might have bigger problems. They're going under the hood, Dave.
Yeah, you can see fuel going in the back with the hood going up. Benoit Teague also getting some service at the front, some damage to the nose of that Chevrolet, and here comes a slew of other drivers, including Ray Quartermache Jr. in the 29. Todd?
The 95 of Anthony Simoni making a stop. The crew looking underneath at brakes as well. They were having some brake issues. The 5 of Noel Dowler is in. A few others taking opportunity during this caution to make their fuel stops.
The Omvik number 56, Matthew Scannell, pulls away after his car gets serviced, and they'll rejoin the tail end of the field. Jocelyn Fecto, a chassis adjustment. We don't see that a lot on the road courses.
But that is the beauty of this little bit longer race. Again, 8 laps added to this race distance. The strategy comes in, but more importantly, if your car's not really working that well, you can come in and you can make those necessary changes. We continue under caution here at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. Welcome back to the 7th race of the 2014 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series Championship presented by Mobil 1. 53-year-old Mount Albert, Ontario's Kerry Mix leads the field here at the JuliaWine.com Le 50 Tour as we get set to go back to green here. 10 laps already in the books, 50 the scheduled distance.
And guess who is on the move, Dave? Xavier Kupal up to 9th after starting 14th. Jeff Lapsevich up to 14th after starting 18th. Matt Pritico on the move, and with pit stops, a lot of drivers moving back and forth.
Back to green, and it is Mix who's going to lead him off into turn number 1. Couple cars squirrely towards the tail of the field. And Dumoulin tries to drop in front of the 88 of Cameron, and he does.
Wow, Villeneuve way out there sliding that car through. He makes a move on Cameron, and I swear they were 3 wide for a moment out of turn 2.
And the 88 was some crossways too. You see tire lockup going into turn 3. We've got a wreck, and it's Alex Tagliani in the EpiPen, number 18, Vaughn Gittin. We'll get a good close look at the wreckage as he passes through.
I'll tell you, Alex Tagliani in restarts this season just have not jived. He struggled there. Cameron getting back around JF Dumoulin in the 0-4. That's for the 4th spot.
No caution yet as we continue under green, and it is still the 0-2 of Kerry Mix at the front of the field, followed by the 47 of LP Dumoulin.
Alex Gannett, the hood on that race car, there's a lot of movement there. Not sure if he hit something and jarred it loose or if it's just that lightweight.
Well, you can see he has some damage to the back end of the Moto Limité number 39 as we ride on board with Kloot, who's a little bit crossways, chasing the 76 of Lapsevich.
I'm loving Gary Kloot's aggression here. First time at the racetrack, he's not letting that affect him.
Johnsonville, Leland, 0-2 of Kerry Mix, easing his way for turn 1 into turn number 2 this time.
Kerry Mix, formerly a villain here in Quebec. I think they're starting to warm up to him. They kind of like him. He got a pretty good cheer earlier on. It's definitely more exciting when he's at the front.
Love him or hate him, you know he's going to bring an exciting show wherever he goes behind the wheel of that Ford Fusion.
And he knows that as well. This part of the track, Dave, the heaviest braking zone on the racetrack. You can see the cars start to wobble a little bit under braking. Look at Jacques Villeneuve. He's up to 3rd.
And in the pits, the 0-3 Jiffy Lube Dodge Challenger of Eli Arsenault. You can see where he caught the wall after that incident with Alex Tagliani.
Well, it was a big mix-up on that restart. I would imagine there's a lot of cars out there with some war wounds after that one.
So it's single file through the top 4, and there's a little gap, and there goes around the 7 of Jacques Villeneuve.
Wow, Villeneuve goes around, gets back up to speed in front of the field. What a great job. It looks like everybody has avoided him. We saw Cameron battling him close. Not sure if there was contact there or not.
But how quickly did he go backwards? He was sitting in 3rd position. He's all the way back to 15.
18 team goes to work on that left front. Body damage. They're peeling away body work, trying to make sure there's still airflow into the radiator and try to get Alex Tagliani back up.
And as we see the field go by, Dave, that's a lap lost on pit road. We're going to get another look at that restart. Man, airborne again. It looks like Alex Gannett in the 39.
And you can see that's where Eli Arsenault caught the wall in the Port du Plessis in the 0-3, trying to avoid the 18.
Oh, yeah, squeezes along. And let's see if we can see the blue flag. The flagman is actually hitting cars with the flag as he's waving in the turn.
You can see bodywork flapping from the 39 of Alex Gannett. Work continues on the number 18 of Alex Tagliani in the pits.
It's never fun when you've got to get the saws out. Gannett, he's got a lot of bodywork flapping off the right rear of that number 39. Kerry Mix enjoying about a 5-car length advantage over LP Dumoulin. It's not a comfortable lead, Dave, but at least he doesn't have anyone making any contact.
And you know what's important for the 47 of Dumoulin here today is the big picture. He's looking championship. Comes in as your points leader as you see Tagliani leaving pit lane at the top of your screen. And the driver he's chasing right there, the 0-2 Johnsonville Ford of Kerry Mix, is not in the points picture. So for Dumoulin, all he has to do is stay there, and this will really be considered a win.
Along that same thought, Dave, I am shocked the 47 hasn't been on pit road for fuel. We saw Fitzpatrick take fuel. We saw Hathaway take fuel. He's got a nice, comfy points lead right now. I can't see him wanting to gamble that on a strategy that 2 others in the top 5 have already played the other side of.
He might be banking on a number of caution laps here, and that'll get him through the distance. We'll have to see. Historically, we do see a little bit of a rough and tumble race towards the end, and the 88 of Cameron goes straight in turn number 6.
There is a bit of runoff there. Doesn't look like he's hit anything, but what a turn of events. Cameron just couldn't get there under braking, and now we can't get the car into reverse.
Those hot transmissions sometimes difficult to shift as we've got a caution, and that'll slow the field, and Cameron lucky to see this one as he'll attempt to get it now reversed in the White Motorsports Chevy number 88. Now he'll rejoin the field, although he goes from the front of the field all the way to the back.
It doesn't look like he made any contact as the pace car out in front of the leaders here as we're under yellow. So that's a pretty fortunate break there for Cameron, because there was a lot of concrete to hit here.
There is a lot of concrete. He caught one of the lucky runoff areas, as you mentioned, but This will bunch the field once again, and once again we're talking strategy. Will anybody pit for fuel? Possibly the 47 of LP Dumoulin. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, time will tell, and the strategies here. I kind of think at this point in the race, Dave, if you're out in the front and you haven't pitted yet, I don't think you're going to come down pit road. I
think at this point you're right. You might be just rolling the dice, but we'll have to wait and see. We're 14 laps in of a scheduled 50 here at Circuit Trois-Rivieres. We're working lap 16, still under caution here at the JuliaWine.com Le 50 Tour. As you take a look at the field, continuing to try and keep some heat in those tires and prepare for the restart. And right on board the number 29 of Ray Courtemanche Jr., who tomorrow is going to VIR to test in a NASCAR Camping World Truck Series car. He'll race that truck at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. His teammate Alex Tagliani always has style and facial hair, and earlier he showed us how it was done.
Today we're here to convince the skeptics that to shave tag style, it only takes a moment. So there's a timer here to prove it. Put the shaving cream. It's kind of a technique, right? You have to shave one side and then do the trimming with the back blade. You need to take the cream off to see for the little imperfection. Not so bad. And 1 minute, 58 seconds. We did it in less than 2 minutes. Mission accomplished. Back to you, boys.
And you know why he does that? Because his wife wants him to look like Robert Downey Jr.
If Ronnie wants him to look like Robert Downey Jr., that's the route I'm taking, Dave.
I think he does. I think I'm going to try to shave like that the next time I do. What do you think?
I don't think his wife cares what you look like.
At least I hope not. Field stacking up, preparing for the restart. And you can see as soon as the pace car pulls up, the tempo picks up at the front of the field. You've got LP Dumoulin and you've got Kerry Mix. Now they're side by side, but only about 3, 4, now 5 rows deep. Look at the field trying to catch up as we go back to green here in Trois-Rivieres.
And listen to these cars rumble down into turn 1, Dave.
To the inside, Luc Lesage in the 24, and he will make it stick. And no carnage through there, but you saw the big black marks for the 47 of Dumoulin as he jumped on the gas on that restart.
We saw yellow stripe go by in 3rd spot. That's Xavier Coupal in the 72, yellow rookie stripe on the back bumper.
Yeah, he's been in the field before a couple of times in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series, but only here and there over the last couple of seasons. He does have a lot of skill, though, and a lot of talent, and you know that 72 car is a good one.
Wow, Jeff Lapsevich under braking, and someone else, J.R. Fitzpatrick, was trying to make a move. It's not very often you can outbrake the Tim Hortons Jeff Lapsevich machine as we ride on board with Jason Hathaway in the 14th spot.
Taking a look back at the 39 of Alex Guinnett. That was from the back bumper, the 27 of Andrew Ranger, who has slowly and quietly worked his way back up towards the front of the field. And have a good look at that car. Not a mark on it.
I was thinking the same thing, Dave. When you can not only pass cars, but do so without using up much race car, speak of the devil we are, go on board Alex Guinnett, who has used up a bit of his race car so far. Doesn't look any worse for wear. He is flying down into turn 1.
But really not that much. I mean, we've talked about the youngster Guinnett in the 39 being a little aggressive in the Moto Limité Dodge. Here today, any incident that he's been involved with, really not his fault. He got hit from behind, and then he's worked through this field fairly cleanly.
He was involved there when Tagliani crashed on that restart, but we haven't really had a chance to have a look and see where it came from. The restarts here are so tight and so hairy, though, it's tough to point fingers.
How about the driver just in behind her reigning series champion, the number 22 Canadian Tire Dodge of Scott Steckley again. We've talked about this for many races, a long, long time. He's still looking to get that first ever road course win.
You know, it's going to happen. They're just so good. And you know what? Today might be one of those days. It's sometimes when you're not really talking about somebody, the end of the race, they pop up. Scott Steckley quietly having a decent run.
And you know what? That whole team is stepping a little lighter here today because they finally have the first win of 2014 off their back, picking that up at St. Eustache in the very last race.
And they still had that bad taste in their mouth because they've dominated 2 races this year. They dominated, what was it, Saskatoon? Didn't get the win there with a green-white checker at the end. Dominated St. Eustache. They got the win in that one. So they've still got that fire in them. But at the front, Kerry Mix. This is old school. What a move. Down into turn 2 for Guinnett.
Oh, Guinnett showing like he's a veteran, outbreaking the 27 of Andrew Ranger, the man who owns this place in the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. Gannett showing he's not intimidated by anyone.
And I think he just surprised Ranger. Nobody makes a move down there. Whoa, Kennington getting a little out of shape going into the turn. Look, he gathered it up.
Kennington had his bumper directly underneath the back of the 22 of Scott Steckley, 8th spot. They are battling over deep in the field. Here comes Clute to the inside, riding along with Gary in the 59.
Nice move by Gary Clute on DJ Kennington. And this is amazing to me. Jeff Lapsevich going to follow him through and get by the 17. Kerry Mix leading this race, but nobody is pulling away. These are some of the best cars and best drivers in the country, and there's 20 of them in a row.
And what's so surprising about that is they're all racing back and forth, and still nobody's able to pull away. There goes Fitzpatrick to the inside of the Castrol Dodge of DJ Kennington as we ride on board Jacques Villeneuve.
DJ Kennington's had a pretty tough few corners here. He's lost 3 spots in the last lap.
Yeah, he's gone from 8th spot to 11th, so just outside of the top 10. And you can see Villeneuve now working on the back of the Castrol Dodge. There's the CTL Chevrolet of Gary Clute having a good run there. Now looking in the back of the 22 of Scott Steckley.
And still that chain of cars all the way back to Steckley, then a few car lengths back to the 59 of Gary Clute. But look at that train, Dave. That's 15, 20 cars. Nobody with a huge advantage.
Anthony Simoni was the only one to duck out of line in the number 95. But you're right, it is a long train all the way back. So you have to think, if you make a mistake, you're not going to just lose one position. You might lose even 3 or 4.
And I want to go back to something we spoke about earlier on. LP Dumoulin hasn't experienced Kerry Mix on his A game. He's having a look down into turn number 1. Mixie, something might have gone wrong with that 0-2. 2 spots lost on the main straightaway.
You know what? He might have looked in his mirror and said, I'm not going to fight this one. Going into turn number 1, Kerry Mix falls back into 3rd. Xavier Coupal in the 72 is up into 2nd spot. The Lou's Barbecue Dodge as everybody now chases your points leader and race leader, LP Dumoulin. Now riding on board the number 39 of Alex Gannett, as he moves to the inside of the 04 of JF Dumoulin, and he'll make that pass stick for 4th spot.
Well, Dave, if Kerry Mix let those 2 go by, that's the first time I've ever seen him let someone pass him.
Andrew Ranger continuing his march forward, now up into the 5th position as he goes around the outside of the 04 of Dumoulin.
But going back a lap ago, like I say, LP Dumoulin's never faced Kerry Mix on his A game. It's a different style of racing. Nothing is free, nothing is easy, and the points leader's got to beware. The Bulldog could be on a mission today.
Yeah, you want to talk about a different style of racing. You see Kerry Mix with 5 laps to go, and you will see a completely different Kerry Mix. This Kerry Mix we see here knows there's still a lot of laps to finish.
Andrew Ranger up into 5th. We watch that Mopar number 27 Exide across the hood. Using a lot of racetrack, but making the most of the pavement here at Trois-Rivieres.
And even now that the 02 Leland Industries Ford Fusion of Kerry Mix has dropped back to 3rd spot. And it looks like Gannett going to make a move to the outside, down the backstretch, down the Boulevard du Carmel here in Trois-Rivieres. And Gannett will have it, and he gets to the back of Coupal.
Wow, Gannett couldn't quite make the turn. It looks like he clipped Coupal on the way by. Both cars still running, and they both come out at the same time. Coupal with a smoke show down the straightaway, getting back up to speed.
And here's going to be 2 drivers a little hot under the collar as the 72 of Coupal has some body damage to the back end of the Lou's Barbecue Dodge, and Gannett just a little bit crumpled on the right front fender. But again, both drivers able to continue and no caution to slow this field at this moment.
What a tough break for Xavier Coupal. Having a great run, but that shouldn't come as a surprise, Dave. Andrew Ranger with 4 wins at this racetrack. At least 3 of them, maybe all 4, came behind the wheel of a Dave Jacobs Racing prepared race car, just like the 72 of Coupal.
And there is a good look at the driver of the Mopar Dodge, the 27 of Andrew Ranger. Never finished outside of the top 5 here at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. Now we ride on board with Alex Gannett.
Wow, he tried. You could see the car wiggling as he tried to get slowed down. And not only has Ranger never finished outside of the top 5, he's never finished out of the top 2.
You see the long line of cars, everybody chasing the WeatherTech.ca number 47 of LP Dumoulin. And there's Scott Steckley attached to the back bumper of Andrew Ranger, a 2-time series champion and a 3-time series champion nose to tail.
I love that sound. Can you imagine how big the party's going to be tonight if both Dumoulin brothers finish on the podium?
Oh, there would be fireworks for sure. Even better than the fireworks we saw here earlier on this weekend as part of the festival here in Trois-Rivieres, Quebec, surrounding this Grand Prix. And problems for the global warranty number 99 of Matt Critico. He goes around, no caution yet.
And again, another car goes around and it looks like no contact made. I've never seen that before as Ranger closes on the 04 as Jean-Francois Dumoulin. Now the top 5 with a bit of breathing room. Back to 6th place, Gary Clute.
And Critico able to get that car righted and tag back onto the tail of the field, so we continue under green. That's the beauty of having these longer laps, is the drivers, the leader drivers, won't come up on these cars that are spawned or having difficulties, so that's why we're able to stay in the green.
And we should mention that, Dave, the only thing that will bring out a full course caution during these races is debris that race officials think causes a safety issue. Wow, halfway, 25 laps down, it's time for the Tim Hortons halfway update.
3 leaders so far this afternoon, 3 lead changes, only 2 cautions for 6 short laps here in the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres, and so far an impressive run. The 72 of Xavier Coupal sitting as high as 2nd before getting spun.
That is impressive. And we mentioned the reasons for caution, it's all safety related. If there's debris on the track that they think poses a safety risk, or if a car is disabled on the racetrack in a spot where they could be contacted by another car, they'll throw a yellow. Matt Critico spins out, but the car's still running. They'll let that go.
There goes J.R. Fitzpatrick in the Autism Speaks Canada number 84, and he's up in the 7th spot as he moves underneath the Tim Hortons Dodge of Jeff Lapsevich.
And he's farther up the field than anybody else who came in for fuel, Dave. Let's remember that as the race reaches the halfway point. We're into the second half of this one, already up to 7th.
Now, you remember Ranger wanted to stop for fuel. He didn't get the opportunity to because he was called in for a drive-through penalty, but we got a driver stopped on track, and it is the 03 of Eli Arsenault. That's in turn number 7, where he is stopped. No caution yet, but definitely NASCAR taking a close look at that.
And they use cameras all around the racetrack. They've got a number of monitors so they can see what's going on. And Trevor Hambley, the series director, the race director rather, will make that decision if he deems it fit. Meanwhile, LP Dumoulin leads Kerry Mix, and we are under yellow.
And there is the reason for it. Again, Eli Arsenault in the 03 stopped up in turn number 7. I think this gives the lead group a chance to catch their breath, maybe stretch their arms a little bit before we have that dash to the finish. And John, what's going on with the 03?
Guys, just got word from the group with the 03 of Eli Arsenault. He cannot fire the car, stuck out on course. That's why we've gone to the full course yellow. 3rd caution of the afternoon, making fuel mileage less of an issue, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is, Todd. Fuel mileage less of an issue. They're still not out of the water yet, because I would watch a green-white checker changes everything, Dave. If they can go the stretch now to the end, maybe a yellow at the end to a green-white checker. And a lot of teams have prepared for this. One thing we noticed, I don't believe we've mentioned it, in Villeneuve's number 7 car, they've actually got a long toggle switch for the ignition to make it easy for the driver to kill the engine under yellows.
And the innovative plumbing number 95, Anthony Simoni down pit lane. And this looks like more than just a tire change as the crew goes to work under the back end.
Man, the Simoni team, that 95 group, thankfully they had that great top 5 run in St. Eustache, but he has had all sorts of problems this season.
And there you see LP Dumoulin catching a bit of a break. He actually shut off the motor for a little bit, saving some fuel. Strategy at play. It is a packed house, standing room only here in Trois-Rivieres. We're smack dab in the middle of race 7 of the 2014 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series Championship.
And when the weather is good in Trois-Rivieres, Dave, it is always a huge crowd.
You know what? When the weather's bad here in Trois-Rivieres, it's always a huge crowd. This is one party from start to finish.
That's a pretty neat view there. All these teams trying to keep some heat into the tires, keep any debris off them as we're on board with Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the Monster Energy number 9.
Sitting in 27th position after going for a loop, and we got problems. under caution here on the JuliaWine.com 50, and that's Anthony Simone in the 95. He was just down pit lane.
Jocelyn Fecteau in the 77 out of Montreal, and Anthony Simone. I have no idea what could have happened there, Dave.
Well, there is some debris right around that incident, so this restart is going to be waved off. You can see the drivers all slotting in single file, so no doubt they're getting word from their spotters at this point. Caution flag waves once again. The pace car coming back on track, but there's Simone. He's out of the car, and he too is probably wondering what exactly happened. Have another look. The blue car, you can see it towards the tail of the pack. He just runs right into him.
Yeah, I'm trying to see at the end. It did look like he swerved at the end. I don't know if he was getting pushed there, but no, we were on board. There was nobody really that close behind him. Simone having a look over the damage.
The one thing, possibly no brakes on the 95 of Anthony Simone as he touched the 77 under caution. Jocelyn Fecteau still buckled in as Anthony Simone now takes his helmet off. But while we have this stoppage, let's check in and have a season recap. See how the season has played out up until this point.
The 2014 season has crisscrossed the country, visiting 4 provinces while racing on battle-tested short ovals, world-class road courses, and tricky airport street circuits. All this racing action boiled down to one entertaining battle for the championship. Race 1 from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park saw a robust field of NASCAR late models duel and dice their way around the iconic 4-kilometer raceway. Racing is a high-speed chess match, and sometimes the moves don't go your way, while other times everything falls into place like it did for 25-year-old J.R. Fitzpatrick. New on the calendar for 2014 is Autodrome Chaudière. This racy quarter of a mile set in the Quebec landscape was a highly anticipated stop on the driver's agenda. The competition was tight and the racing was aggressive. In the end, rock star Jason Hathaway took his 4th career NASCAR win. The airport runways and roadways of Circuit I-Car played host to round 3. The Mirabel location, mixed with a big NASCAR field, gave the fans all they could ask for. A young and hungry Alex Gannett would lead, but soon the Mopar machine of Ranger took center stage as he once again dominated the runways of I-Car. The series would soon head west to the quarter-of-a-mile bull ring of Edmonton Raceway. With the series still very much fresh, a handful of drivers were vying for the championship lead that J.R. Fitzpatrick still held since race 1. Alex Tagliani set his number 18 on point for the majority of the evening. The 27 Mopar Dodge of Andrew Ranger avoided some carnage and powered his way to his 2nd straight victory in 2014.
To wave that checkered flag.
Saskatoon's Auto Cleary Motor Speedway is a fast, racy third-of-a-mile high-banked oval set in the heart of the prairies. The 22 Canadian Tire Dodge of Scott Steckley controlled the field for most of the night, but a late race caution quickly changed the event's course. LP Dumoulin and his 47 WeatherTech Dodge struggled all night, but when the final 2 laps shook out, the 35-year-old came out on top. The tour then headed east to the Autodrome Saint-Eustache. Alex Labbe won the time trials while Alex Gannett, another young Quebec racing star, roughed his way to the front. In the end, the red triangle of Steckley would take the win while the 47 of Dumoulin controlled the points lead.
Scott Steckley was out on top of that 22 Canadian Tire Dodge.
And so that's what's bringing us to this point at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. You see the cleanup continues here in the JuliaWine.com, the 50 Tour here at Circuit Trois-Rivieres. Anthony Simone going up on the flatbed. Big damage to that car as everybody chases the 47 of LP Dumoulin. He's your leader. Welcome back to the 7th race of the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series here in 2014. I'm Dave Bradley. Along with me is Adam Ross, and Todd Lewis is patrolling the pits as we get set for restart number 3, clicking off lap 35.
Still a ragged field as they come down to the green flag. A lot of stragglers at the back, but the action is hot and heavy in the front. Dumoulin with a great restart. Mixie second. JF Dumoulin going to try the outside there in turn 2. That's a tough place to make it work.
Especially through here. Turn number 3 in the Duplessis gates. He'll be side by side with Andrew Ranger, and they both make it through, but barely.
We go on board with Jason Hathaway, the Pro Point Chevrolet, as he chases DJ Kennington down the backstretch.
Everybody pretty much single file at this point. Now you see them fanning out. This is coming into a great passing opportunity, and nobody willing to dive in. There goes the 7 of Jacques Villeneuve, and a little bit further on behind there, side by side, Xavier Coupal, one of the drivers willing to take the chance in the 72.
They're running through the oil dry that was left in the Simone and Fecto accident down there. If you saw a little bit of smoke coming up, it's actually dust, kitty litter dust.
And Coupal almost making contact with the 24 of Luc Lesage as everybody chases the hometown hero, the man from Trois-Rivieres, Quebec, looking to put on an impressive performance, and he has up until now in the 47. That's LP Dumoulin, your race leader. His brother, JF Dumoulin, sitting inside the top 5 in 4th position, but have a look at this battle for 2nd.
Ranger right now filling the mirror of Kerry Mix. I don't think he had any intention of making a move to the inside in turn 1, but he wants to show Mixie that he's looking in these directions, kind of playing with the veteran.
2 veterans of the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series on board now with Jacques Villeneuve and the Dodge-sponsored Challenger as he grabs the gear, heads up the Boulevard du Carmel, the backstretch here at Circuit Trois-Rivieres.
Looked like he lost a little bit of ground on the straightaway, but look at J.R. Fitzpatrick. That is the best camera angle in all of the Canadian Tire Series. You get to watch these cars wiggle down the backstretch under braking as J.R. Fitzpatrick takes over the 6th spot.
And that was a textbook pass. It really was, as Coupal really down low through that speedy dry as he tries to make his way back up through this field. He's now chasing the number 59 of Clute as we ride on board.
Well, it's been a little bit of time since Xavier Coupal got spun out of a top 2 spot, but that driver's probably still pretty hot under the collar. Here's one that looks cool as can be today. Gary Clute in that 59 CTL machine, he's doing a great job in the 7th spot.
Yeah, you know what? He's been doing very, very well all race long. Calm, composed, hitting his marks. Sure, he's been rattled a couple times with drivers going around him, maybe getting into him a little bit, but he settles back into his rhythm, and that's exactly what a youngster has to do. He's still looking to run a full season, just trying to collect a little bit more sponsorship to run the full season in 2015.
Andrew Ranger right up behind Kerry Mix, looks to the inside down into turn number 6. Looks like he's going to make the pass, and he's got that position.
Kerry Mix going to try the crossover, won't be able to make it happen as he marked the Mopar Dodge, the 27 of Andrew Ranger up to 2nd.
Ranger pulls a few car lengths out of the corner, but look at Kerry Mix close in once again in the 0-2.
You know what Kerry Mix is doing right now? He's learning. He's waiting to see how strong am I? Where am I better than the 27 for those final few laps? He's now behind him, sitting in 3rd spot, but it doesn't really matter because come those last few laps, Kerry Mix will be on a charge.
They've only added 8 laps to the distance of this race, but as we watch it play out, it has really affected the strategy these drivers use.
Yeah, it's no longer a sprint race. I mean, you have to save things like your brakes and your tires. You heard it off the top of the show. DJ Kennington says all those things need to be there at the end of this race, so drivers really have to be cognizant of that.
And DJ Kennington still in the top 10. We watched him lose some spots, fall out of the top 10 earlier. He's clawed his way back into the top 10, but he doesn't have anything for this lead 3 or 4 so far in the race, Dave.
Good look at the field flashing through here as we ride on board the 29 of Ray Courtemanche Jr. Ray Jr. having a pretty solid race here today, up to 22nd position. That car is pretty clean, and Vaughn Gittin Jr., after going around once, currently sitting in 26th spot, but having a good show.
He just went by Matthew Scannell as though Scannell was dragging an anchor. I think there's a problem in that number 56 Omvic car of Scannell. We'll have to get a look back there.
And it's funny about Vaughn Gittin, when he was testing that car earlier this week, the mixed crew was really kind of shocked at how smooth he was on a road course after going around sliding the back end. And we got a car around, and it is Clute in the CTL financing. Number 59, Gary Clute, pointed in the wrong direction. That's in turn 1.
And there is Matthew Scannell in the 56. That will bring out a full course caution.
2 cars stopped on the circuit here. Of course, you've got Clute in turn number 1, Matthew Scannell out in turn number 6. So see a little bit of posturing there towards the front of the field as Clute manages to refire, or at least roll further towards the corner.
And at this point, Dave, under this yellow, now we're at the point where it looks like it's going to be a sprint to the finish. The laps will be winding down. These cars have body panels on them right now, but they will use them up in the JuliaWine.com Le 5 on Tour.
Welcome back to Trois-Rivieres, Quebec, as we ride on board with your race leader, LP Dumoulin. It's the number 47 WeatherTech Dodge as we get set to work lap number 43 of a scheduled 50 laps.
Now, this restart, I can tell you already, that field is bunched together. That's the tidiest looking restart we've had in a little while, Dave.
And now with 16 laps under caution, Adam, fuel window is really out of the picture. Everybody can make it from here.
I think they can breathe relatively easy, but time will tell. Green flag is out and we're back underway. Dumoulin with another great start.
Nobody's breathing easy going into turn number 1. Looking towards the tail of the field. You got Benoit T going almost 5 wide into turn number 1, and that ends up in a wreck.
I don't think they made it, Dave. We saw smoke coming up. Contact there with Kerry Mix in the 04 of Dumoulin, but I think we've got bigger problems at the exit of turn 1.
We do indeed. Mix falls back into line, but here, an example of those problems you talked about. Teague, Lesage, and the 97 of Hugo Vanini all involved.
Down to turn number 6 they go. I can't see them being able to continue the race. Those cars had fluid spewing out of them, Dave.
Now, no caution yet, though. We continue under green. There it is. The call for the full course caution. You're very right. There you see a huge crunch on the front end of the 16 of Benoit Teague.
Don't think that's the kind of impact you drive away from, as Teague's done some damage. Let's have another look down into 1. Right at the very top, 2 white stripes on the hood. That's 3 wide down the inside. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's at the very least 3 wide. Xavier Coupal also involved. A couple other cars brushed the wall. That was the 71 of Brisebois, and trouble for the 97 of Hugo Vanini. It's such a great start to this 2014 campaign, and unfortunately has been bitten by bad luck. Luc Lesage able to carry on in the number 24, although dragging a few body panels behind.
We get a great look there, Dave, at the bars surrounding the fuel cell. Lesage obviously made heavy impact with the back of the car, but it didn't touch anything on the cell, and there's a very disappointed Benoit Teague. We won't know if he's upset with himself or somebody else just yet, but it's been a wild one in Trois-Rivieres. You're watching NASCAR on TSN.
The number 97 of Hugo Vanini on the flatbed here in Trois-Rivieres, Quebec, as we continue race number 7 of the 2014 NASCAR Canadian Tire Series. Under caution, the 5th of the afternoon as we prepare for the restart. Lap 46 is the lap we're working, and again, we have to say it again. 50 laps the scheduled distance here in the JuliaWine.com Le 5 on Tour, so this will be a dash for cash.
Oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to ride on board for this restart with Jason Hathaway, the Pro Point number 3, at least preparing for the restart. We're about to go green, Dave.
Field off turn number 11, side by side. It looks like Dumoulin has the advantage at the line as the green flag waves once again. Have a look at the 27 Mopar Dodge on the outside. Mix is in there in the 02.
Familiar place, Kerry Mix and Andrew Ranger side by side. Steckley goes around to the 22.
Kennington gets a little damage as well as Steckley pops the wall with the back end of that Dodge Challenger. Still under green, but the Canadian Tire Dodge stopped off at turn number 1.
Wow, Scott Steckley quietly having a good run in the top 10, and he is dead in the water between turns 1 and 2. Look at Kerry Mix and Andrew Ranger down into 6. They're rubbing wheels.
Oh, are they ever? As Andrew Ranger moves to the inside under braking. A little bit of blocking perhaps on the 02 of Kerry Mix, but Mix will slide back in and tuck in, try to make a move a little bit later on as you see bodywork flapping from the Castrol Dodge of DJ Kennington. Caution is out now as the 22 of Steckley unable to move off of turn number 1.
Yellow flag, that'll restack the deck, and miracle of miracles, Scott Steckley drives away just before going a lap down, Dave Bradley. Let's have another look.
See if you can find the Canadian Tire Dodge in this scramble. He's towards the outside. Right there he goes. He's alongside the 84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick.
No, that was Jacques Villeneuve in the number 7. Villeneuve and Steckley get together, and Steckley will spin around. Well, this will give us a look on board with Villeneuve through turn number 1.
A little bit of contact there, I would say.
I would definitely say so as the Castrol Edge crew go to work on the back end of Kennington.
The 17 in for repairs after contact. NASCAR rules that you must have a rear deck lid. They're trying to put one on and put bare bond to keep it in place so that the NASCAR officials will give them the okay to return to action.
Well, and Dave, that's NASCAR technical director for this series, Jeff Wilcox, overseeing the work being done on this race car. So he's the technical boss. You got to make him happy before you're allowed to go back on the racetrack.
And you have to remember the 17 of DJ Kennington was running inside the top 10 here this afternoon, but also well inside the top 10 in the point standings coming into this race.
And we've just received word over the radio. NASCAR is penalizing Jacques Villeneuve, driver the number 7, 1 lap penalty for aggressive driving.
Now, there's not really any surprise there if you saw the onboard camera, but it's been a tough day for 22 Racing. Scott Steckley with damage to the 24 of Luc Lesage, also with damage. You remember early on the 18 of Alex Tagliani involved in an incident. The 4th car of that team, Ray Quartermanche Jr. in the 29, is the highest running car out of that stable.
NASCAR official Rick Allen standing in front of the 7 machine, and he will stand there until the field goes by and puts Villeneuve a lap down, and then he will be able to rejoin the tail end. Well, here we have it, Dave. We're getting down to the wire.
And Luc Lesage getting the free pass in the number 24, so he'll have to get on his horse to try and catch up to the back of the pack as we get set for a green, white, checkered finish here at the JuliaWines.com Le 50 Tour at Circuit Trois-Rivieres in Trois-Rivieres, Quebec. It is LP Dumoulin from right here at Trois-Rivieres, and 4-time race winner, the 27 of Andrew Ranger. They will lead him back to green.
This is the cream of the crop. Dumoulin, Ranger, Kerry Mix, JF Dumoulin, they're scattering down into one.
And Kerry Mix well to the inside of the 04 of JF Dumoulin. Everybody gets a little bit crossways, but gets back in line. Ranger to the back bumper of the 47.
Gannett up the inside of Fitzpatrick. Contact.
Green wide for a little second there. J.R. Fitzpatrick backs out of it. The man who comes in second in points wants to save his rig as they head down the back straightaway.
Well,
we've got a car up against the wall.
There's still time here with the green-white checker. J.R. Fitzpatrick likely planning his attack. Lots of it to the extreme inside of Dumoulin.
They made contact. Dumoulin gets another bump from Cameron in the 88. They make more contact on the turn 6, and Coupal goes around and up and over.
Oh my goodness, Xavier Coupal, 4 or 5 barrel rolls.
The young driver in the 72 is obviously caution comes out to slow this field. Now the red flag being shown as NASCAR officials will want to get there very quickly to check on the young driver.
And Coupal is moving around inside the race car. That is great news. He's taken the steering wheel off. He is waving the safety personnel. Dave, I hope the best for Xavier Coupal. Have you ever seen one of these cars come apart?
I have never seen a roll that violent. And you take a look at it. Cameron making contact with Dumoulin. There it is. That's where the 72 gets airborne. And watch this.
3, 4 rolls. As we watch, it was Cameron on the inside, Coupal in the middle, and I believe Hathaway was on the outside.
And just wow, not one single body panel left on that car. And this is the part the most concerning. You see the head bowed of Xavier Coupal, but the good news here, able to climb out under his own power, now going on the backboard just as a precaution.
Dave, there's so many things we should talk about. The medical and safety personnel were so fast on the scene, but how about that race car out of Dave Jacobs Racing Stable? Randy Smith built that race car. All the pieces are still there. The body came apart, but every fundamental piece of that car still with the car.
Yeah, and you see the NASCAR mandated safety aspects of that. The wheel tethers worked. If we're going to have another look at this, this is back a little bit before the rollover. This is where the contact started. Lapsevich in the Tim Hortons Dodge well to the inside. That's the 04 of JF Dumoulin. And they sorted out okay. Cameron and the 3 of Hathaway, they get together, make a little bit of contact as well.
Coupal isn't even in the view. There he comes, and here's where the problems start. All 3 cars are accelerating, Dave. All 3 cars hard on the gas. Lots of room. Lots of room. They start to squeeze in. When 3 cars are on the throttle and touch wheels, the result is explosive.
And it's just the angle that he comes down, and there goes the 72. Have another look.
And watch the driver. If you can look at his arms, he crosses his arms. He lets go of the wheel, crosses his arms to his chest, something young road course racers are taught to do.
And you saw the wheel tethers work, the front wheels hanging off. There's promoter Dominic Fougère watching on with great concern.
As is everybody. I mean, you could hear a hush go over this crowd, and you can hear it in the background now, Dave. Listen to that.
Yeah, it's gone from a party atmosphere to an awkward silence here at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivieres. A car stopped. We're under a red flag here in the JuliaWine.com Le 50 Tour. And Le Circuit de Trois-Rivieres, that is the vehicle of young Xavier Coupal, or at least what's left of it.
And they're just picking up the pieces right now. Thankfully, word comes up, Xavier Coupal talking to the medical personnel. He appears to be okay. Hats off to everybody involved.
And there it is. You can see the checkered flag being shown. Word from NASCAR, this race has now been declared official. That would make that man, the hometown hero from right here in Trois-Rivieres, Quebec, LP Dumoulin, your race winner. The crew celebrating pit side. Todd?
Nice to have you here this weekend. Had to wait a little while for the world, but you get to celebrate a victory.
Yeah, I'm very happy to win the race with LP Dumoulin at home at Trois-Rivieres. That's the best. It's a dream.
Go celebrate.
Thank you very much.
A big thumbs up from a happy car owner, Martin Roy. There he is. Checkered flag in hand and burnouts down the front straightaway.
Dave, that whole team, Martin Roy, LP Dumoulin, their passion is infectious.
And you can't forget about Mario Gosselin either. A secret to this formula that has been the 4017 of LP Dumoulin as he continues to be your points leader. And there's the hometown crowd cheering on your race winner here in the JuliaWine.com Le 50 Tour. LP Dumoulin will make his way to victory lane very, very shortly. But first, he's going to hop out and greet those fans as we take a look at the final results here today.
LP Dumoulin, Andrew Ranger, Kerry Mix on the podium. It's a good day for Dumoulin. JF in 4th, and here back 11th through 20th. What a great day for Ray Quartermans Jr. 12th, Dave Corsall 13th, Vaughn Gittin Jr. in 14th.
And it's been a tough day for a number of points contenders. The 22 of Scott Steckley having a rough run, as did the 17 of DJ Cannington, and the 3-car of Jason Hathaway not finishing quite as high as he needed to. But that man did exactly what he needed to do. Todd?
LP Dumoulin is up on the roof of that number 47 WeatherTech Dodge. LP Dumoulin, alongside his lovely wife Sheila, celebrating victory here at Trois-Rivieres. Try and put it into words. How does it feel?
Wow, it feels incredible here in Trois-Rivieres with my WeatherTech car. It's just WeatherTech Belmar is just awesome. We can't ask better. Mario Gosselin did a really good job with the King Motorsports staff here. He trying to calm me down, making sure I save a lot of fuel because we didn't stop for fuel, and saving the tires as well. That was a main job there to save the tires. And then we had a strong car at the end. I was ready. I was ready to get another start with Andrew because we had a lot of fun. It was clean racing out there. And way to go, WeatherTech Belmar. Let's go for the next one.
Congratulations, LP Dumoulin, winner at Trois-Rivieres.
What a huge win for LP in front of the hometown crowd, and what a huge win in terms of the point standings. He now has 26 points over Fitzpatrick. Ranger 4 points back of that. Hathaway and Steckley, they're still in the top 5, Dave, but that is a big lead for Dumoulin.
And not too many races left. Todd standing by with your second place finisher.
Andrew, boy, you had another strong run from the back to the front.
Yep.
Unfortunately, come up a little bit short from the victory, but what a tremendous drive.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good car. The Mopar Inox car was really fast this weekend, and I don't know what happened. They said I jumped the start. Another thing NASCAR did. But anyway, it's okay. It's another podium, and I'm very happy about my team. They work so hard, and it's a big weekend. I have a lot of sponsors here, so to do another podium, it's great for us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It was an exciting run, and celebrating on the roof of his WeatherTech.ca Dodge, there is the victory kiss for LP Dumoulin and his wife Sheila. Now let's go down, Todd's, with your third place finisher.
Kerry told me he had a great car and showed it with a podium finish, but maybe you had even a little more.
Yeah, you know, it's too bad. We had a really good car there. You know, we backed up there a little bit, and because the car was going away a bit, and I thought, okay, I'm going to save it for the end. And it's too bad we didn't get that green-white checkered in there, but, you know, it is what it is. And got to thank Johnsonville, Leland, and Brian Cathcart and all the other great sponsors.
Thanks, Kerry.
Thanks.
Le gagnant est de Trois-Rivières, Louis-Philippe Dumoulin.
And there you can hear the crowd erupting as LP Dumoulin takes the top step of the podium here in Trois-Rivieres.
And Dave, this is really cool. LP Dumoulin joined by his wife atop the podium and his dad as well. The patriarch of the Dumoulin racing family, P1 at Trois-Rivieres.
This NASCAR race on TSN has been brought to you by Tim Hortons, our Canada, our coffee. By Super Clean, available at Canadian Tire. By WeatherTech Floor Liners. Visit us at weathertech.ca. And by Canada's best store fixtures, your source for custom store fixture solutions.
Next trip, we head out east, Antigonish, Nova Scotia, Riverside, the fastest speedway we'll see this year, Dave.
Back on the ovals for all of us at Fuel Media Lab. We'll see you next time.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.